In today's episode, we're talking about a horror movie that rose to the top, exceeded expectations, and surpassed milestones such as becoming entertainment company A24's highest grossing horror film to date, beating out Hereditary, and is A24's second highest grossing film, period, Talk to Me. Alright, so brief synopsis of Talk to Me. What is it all about? When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits with an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill and high-stakes party game, until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. We watched this movie about 2 times now at this point. Do you remember the little details?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, we're going to start with a game, as always, and this one's going to be a fun one. It is a round of trivia creeping it real. And I'm fingers crossed that you don't know the trivia here, because you are known to check that out after you watch a movie, and we saw it twice, so let's see. The first one is, we'll start off easy. True or false? The directors are known for being YouTubers.
I don't know this.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I don't know this.
We've definitely discussed this before.
True?
Yes.
Okay.
They're YouTubers. They started their career, let's say, as YouTubers, and then this was their first kind of, what's the word? Directorial. Debut.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, so that one was kind of an easy one, because I'm pretty sure we talked about it, but the second question is also true or false. Talk to Me is A24's highest grossing horror film ever.
You kind of said that at the beginning?
I kind of said it in the beginning, yeah.
Yes? It is, or is Hereditary the number one?
Well, it's their second highest grossing film ever.
Alright, so it's false.
So it's false.
So Hereditary's number one then, right?
I don't think Hereditary's number one in terms of A24's films, period, because they don't only do horror, but...
Is it Midsummer? Wait, did they do Midsummer? Shit.
They did do Midsummer, but like I said, they do other genres.
Yeah.
Let's quickly look up A24's highest grossing film. It's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh yeah. We gotta see that one. I didn't see that one yet.
Then it's Talk to Me. Then it's Hereditary.
Wow.
So that's pretty awesome. We have to talk about Hereditary. Don't worry, y'all. We'll definitely talk about it, but... For now, let's just stick to Talk to Me.
What is that, a production company? And they just...
Pretty much.
And they're getting a lot of hits. There's a lot of good movies.
They have some good stuff, right?
Oscar-winning movies. And
yeah. They don't play games, especially during the strike. They weren't playing games. They were like, I'm going to pay people fairly. So, big props to A24. Okay, the next question. How many hands were made in total as a backup for the one... in the movie, in case that one got damaged?
0.
No.
Alright, 5?
You're close.
4?
No, it's 6. Not sure why 6 specifically, but...
Yeah.
6. You never know if you're gonna need 6 more, right? There was a lot going on with that hand.
I actually wanted to buy one, but it's mad expensive.
Yeah, there's an official one, right?
Yeah, this A24 has a shop and they're selling it.
Nice. That would be kind of cool, but also kind of scary to have. It kind of gives the Ouija board vibes. Well, we'll get into it. The next question is, 2 producers on this movie made another underground horror movie. What horror movie was that? And the hint is, it's also Australian.
Oh, and were they speaking Australian in the movie?
Yeah.
Shit, I can't remember.
There's a very well-known Australian horror movie that is iconic at this point.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Alright, I'll give it to you. It's The Babadook.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah.
Now that you say it, you're like, oh, obviously.
Yeah,
I remember when I wrote this down, I'm like, you're gonna get this, but if you haven't thought about it in a while.
Yeah. Because to pinpoint Australia, shit.
Yeah. But they also produced this movie.
Oh, that was A24?
I don't know if it was A24. But same producers.
Nice.
Okay, cool. And then there's a bonus question. It's not a question, just a bonus fun fact for the listeners because I couldn't think of another one. But the main characters, you probably don't know this, the main characters are all dressed and portrayed as different characters in the opening scene.
Wait, what?
So you know the scene where we're kind of walking through a party and we see the first victim of this whole situation?
Yeah.
The brother?
Yeah.
In the party, all of the main characters of the movie are there.
Shit, for real? I didn't even see them.
And they're portrayed as completely different characters. When we watched it the second time for this episode, I couldn't find them.
I gotta look up pictures. I gotta see this.
Maybe we gotta rewatch the opening scene.
Yeah, because this is crazy.
I didn't want to spoil it for you, so I didn't say anything. But when we rewatched it, I was looking out for them. I could not find them, so they were very well blended in.
They probably changed their hair,
yeah,
their clothes, because they all wore like a certain kind of clothes.
Yeah, they were very on brand throughout the entire movie when it came to their wardrobe. Let's move on to the discussion. First of all, why did we pick this piece of content? Let me just say, when we started doing season 1 of this podcast, we did a few live streams, and at that time, Talk to Me had just come out, and everybody in our live streams were commenting and telling us to watch Talk to Me, and it just became a thing after that. All of our friends, all of our colleagues just started asking us, hey, did you see Talk to Me? And we're like, no, we haven't seen Talk to Me, but we know that we need to see it. And then eventually we're like, okay, we need to sit down and watch this movie.
Yeah, I guess we were just waiting for it to go in theaters or having time to go, but we bought the movie.
Oh, that's why we didn't see it, because we didn't go to the theater. And then by the time we heard all of this talk, it was slowly leaving the theater.
Yeah, they wanted to rush it out for video on demand.
Which worked out.
Yeah, so instead of renting it, I just bought it. So,
yeah.
And it was that good.
Yeah, it was a worth it buy.
So you can watch it. You can watch it anytime you want now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it kind of took us a while, and that's why it ended up being in season 2 rather than season 1, but it worked out, and needless to say, I think it's clear we really like the movie.
Yeah. It's one of our favorite movies.
Definitely one of my favorite movies from 2023. You too?
Yeah, it is. Because it's it could be real.
Oh, yeah. What? Wait, it could be real?
It could be real life shit happening.
With the hand possession?
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, I talked about this in the intro, but I kind of look at the hand as almost like a modern day Ouija board.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
Is it not?
Yeah. But it brings the dead stuff into reality, so it's
another step up.
Yeah.
Because with the Ouija board, it's just the board moving, and then once it goes to another level, that's when it becomes shit got real. But with the hand, it kind of just starts off with shit getting real because it's possessing you from the very get-go. Which is wild. But it does definitely feel like Ouija board vibes, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I didn't think about that before, but it makes a lot of sense when I said it out loud.
Except for the possession, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so why do we like it so much? Well, first off, it has an amazing production. I feel like that was the first thing that was on my mind when we started watching this. It was so well done. It can be a simple story, it can be a simple horror movie, but if it's done really well, that just takes it to another level when it comes to cheesy, corny, really crappy horror movies to a really good horror movie. So I think A+ on the production front.
Yeah. The way that it transitions, the editing.
The quality, the music choices. It was really good. And there's a song in that movie that is trending on TikTok now.
Oh.
You know the montage. When they just keep using the hand over and over and over again, and then she starts singing.
Yeah. That shit was funny how they made her sing the song.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was it's just a song in the background, and then she's singing it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that shit was funny. I started laughing at that shit, even though it was
it breaks.
It was freaky.
It breaks the fourth wall. Is that what they call it? It was definitely that, and it was really funny.
Yeah.
That was a good scene. It's also really fun. I think the pacing is really great. It starts off very intense. The opening scene is extremely intense, and it doesn't waver too much after that opening scene. You think that there's a huge long build-up, or sometimes that will happen in movies, but there's not a huge build-up. Things are starting on a high note from the very beginning, and things progressively happen throughout the entirety of the movie, so it has good pacing and keeps your interest throughout the entire thing. Is it a 2-hour-long movie?
I think it's that.
Maybe
Check it
less.
out. I think it's less. But yeah, it's good because it goes it goes up and out, something's gonna happen, something bad happens, and you're how do you get out of this?
Exactly. Oh, it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So it's not too long these days. An hour and a half is not long of a movie at all. But it still, the pacing was done really well, and you got everything done in an hour and a half. I love movies nowadays that are actually movie length and not super long movie length. You know me, I don't have patience for 2+ hour long movies. If you can get it done in an hour and a half, is it really necessary? to have a 2 to 3 hour movie all
No.
the time.
And it had good character development.
Yeah.
Like, you cared about all the characters and you knew exactly what each character would put into place.
Exactly. This movie proves my point. You don't need to have a 2 hour long movie to have a good movie. And for it to be successful.
And also, all the actors were new. We'd never seen them before, and they all did a great job. So it was
It's so true.
great acting, yeah.
So true. Actors I've
Believable.
never seen. I'm pretty sure the main character, this was her first movie ever.
Yeah, a lot of them was their first movie ever, and it was like they're really believable. Like that, you could tell that they're family in the movie.
Love that. Yeah, it was really good. Another thing about it being like just fun, I feel like you're experiencing all of the things that are associated with the hand alongside the kids.
It's like, say, like smoking or something, like smoking weed or
Yeah.
something, like a drug.
Yeah.
So like alcohol, you're all drinking it and you're all having fun, and then somebody fucks up and starts throwing up, and then you gotta go to the doctor or the hospital or some shit like that. Or somebody gets hurt. It's the same exact thing. I guess that's how they wrote the story, because they were all like kids having fun. And then shit happened.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think it's 100% like similar to substance use. I feel like they treated it, especially in the montage and when the kids hung out and had these parties, they treated it like as if it was the substance, the party drug.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Which is probably why it got out of hand to begin with, right? Because exactly as drugs are, when you're in a party setting, things get out of hand. Somebody gets hurt. Law enforcement gets involved, and then it becomes a thing.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. What if they did base it on because switch the hand with like a drug you like.
Exactly. And then one person becomes a little bit too dependent on it because of the loss of their parent. That kind of is how it was with the main character, and then a kid uses it too young dies or almost dies.
See, I gave you guys ideas to make your own movie.
100%. I think that's a perfect, like, analogy. What's another thing? Oh, like, the dealer. The dealer didn't want to get in trouble with the law enforcement, so they kind of, like, got themselves out of the situation.
Yeah. And they didn't want the hand anymore. Like, they're like, yeah, you could keep it. So you don't want the drug anymore, you can keep it.
Yeah. You can definitely look at it as that.
Yeah.
And then also, the mother had mental health issues, so it was kind of like a history of perhaps a substance abuse kind of thing, and then the daughter getting access to it. Dang!
Yeah, so that's probably how they wrote the story.
I love that. Yeah. That's kind of cool to see like a dual meaning that is very straightforward. You can really follow along. Cool.
So that's how you make a movie. You just think a world problem and then just switch it up and up.
Isn't that where some of the best ideas come from? You take something super basic, but then you add layers and layers onto it and it becomes something incredible. Like, if we think about Hereditary as well, it comes from a basic, like, legend folk tale story, and then they added layers to it. But we'll talk about that another time. Okay, another thing why we loved it so much, it was disturbing as hell. Once again, movies from A24, such as Hereditary, Midsommar, stuff like that, sometimes you can look at those movies and they're not, like, super horror, straight in your face, kind of like blood, gore, slasher, stuff like that. Sometimes the movie will mostly be like pacing, drama, story building, and then there are just some moments that are disturbing. But damn, the disturbing moments in this movie are disturbing. For example, the biggest thing with the kid getting possessed by the hand and him smashing his face.
Yeah, over. I didn't understand that shit. I'm like,
what do you mean you didn't get it?
They want him to die so that he could come with them. It's like weird.
That was weird.
Like, you want to keep going into you don't. All right, so you possessed a body. Mm-hmm. Don't you want to feel like how it is to be in the body? Why are you damaging that body? Like, what?
I think they wanted his like soul.
Yeah, I understand that part, but I'm like, why are you damaging his body? So he could be like brain dead and you could just take over his body? What?
I'm pretty sure.
That's probably what it is, right?
I'm pretty sure.
So that he won't have his brain anymore and you'll have his body?
Basically. Just make him into like...
But you'll be fucking hurt and bloody? Like...
I guess not the spirit of it, right? Or whatever it was that possessed him.
Yeah.
It was like another place. So it was more of like a mind thing. It wasn't necessarily the importance of preserving the body. Maybe just enough so that he wasn't dead.
But they took over. Yeah. Because I guess it was like, they went inside of his body And remember, it was like, what, 2 minutes or 90 seconds or something? Yeah. So if you go over the 90 seconds, then that body's supposed to possess, that ghost supposed to possess your body. So that's probably what it was. They were trying to take his body.
Yeah, it was definitely
that. But damaging the body, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I think they just didn't want him to be strong enough to escape what they were setting him up for. And because he was also...
a kid, yeah.
A kid.
Well, there's different loopholes. They have to get the story in, right?
I think it made sense.
Yeah.
I think it does make sense. It's just very succinct. So when you're watching it, like, I feel like when we watched it for the first time, we didn't really get it 100% the first time because we were watching for the first time. We were just experiencing it. The second time that we watched it and we knew kind of what it was about, everything fell into place properly. It was just so succinct that there was no delay or lapse in time where if you're just watching it for the first time, you're just going to get it. You have to, like, think about it.
Yeah, we definitely had to watch it the second time.
Yeah, the second time helped us kind of fine-tune what the movie was really about. The first time we watched it, we were kind of like, what the hell? What's going on? Some scenes were like fever dream type scenes when we first watch it. I don't think we need to touch on the last note here. But the last note that I have about why we like it so much is that it's a unique concept. But we kind of talked about that in the way that it's similar to drug use. It's also similar to the Ouija board. It's a lot of nuances based off of classic, basic horror tropes that we are all already familiar with. And that's what makes it unique, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I liked when I like how they got possessed. Like, they would switch into different ghosts.
Yeah.
And do different crazy shit. That shit was funny.
That was so wild.
And then you were like, I bet you would try this shit if it was real. I was like, maybe I would try it. Like, what?
You were...
It is some scary shit, though, yeah.
The first time I asked you if you would try this, you were like, 100%, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you? Why not? You gotta experience it once.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you hear how that sounds, right?
Okay, so one of the dislikes is when they were strapping them down with the belt and they were holding the hand, they should have held them down better with like a chain or some shit to make sure they were able to pull it off, or even hold on to the hand with a chain to pull it off them. That way everybody would have been safe.
The thing is that they weren't really relying on safety, right?
They were just like...
They just got a little too cocky with the process. They were doing it nonstop every single weekend or whatever it was that they were doing it. They just got cocky with the process and they thought it was a fun game. Like, they were just having silly fun.
Yeah, they were just pulling all people off it. But I'm sure they came into situations where it was hard to pull people off. So I
think it's mostly the most important thing is that they took it too far by including a child.
Yeah.
And that's what changed everything because they didn't know how this was going to react to a child's body, to a child's mind, all of that stuff. And so they took it too far because they were having too much fun and not paying attention, being responsible, and then shit happened.
Oh, you mean like when they went into all the adults were still strong enough to like let go.
Exactly.
But when it went into a kid, the kid that the demon possessed him so much that he was not strong enough to let go, so the demon was taken over.
Pretty much. And it was kind of like the demon or whatever it was knew that they could get away with this with the kid because there were foreshadowing moments where the demon would be possessing someone else and it would look at the kid and be like, I want you. So it was kind of foreshadowing the fact that whatever is possessing them knew they could get away with whatever they wanted to get away with in a child.
Yeah.
Ugh, that sucks.
Yeah.
The kid was nice.
I think he got back better at the end. They said that after a while the thing goes away. The demon. Also, the thing with her mom was kind of weird because...
yeah.
Like, the mental shit with her mom, and I'm just like, what?
It was another layer that... Yeah. I wouldn't say it was a reach, because it was the whole arc of her, right? Why she was kind of antisocial and awkward and weird. But there were just some parts that were vague, that if you weren't really paying attention, really, really, really paying attention, you might have missed it.
And like, even the first time when we saw it, I was like, why does she keep calling her sister and brother, like, and they're not even related? You have to watch it the second time and figure out, they're like close friends, that they call each other brother and sister, and that they help each other out. Yeah,
that is the main character and her best friend, and then the best friend's brother who ends up getting super possessed. But yeah, that was weird. I thought that they were siblings or half siblings, And then later on, you figure out that they were just really close friends. They were like chosen family almost.
Yeah, because in the beginning, the part with the friend's mother, the mother was mentioning her dad, and I was like, okay, so are they like divorced? And
right?
That's her dad. I was like, what the. Like, they didn't explain that part.
I agree.
You have to keep watching it to understand it. And even in the movie, they never explained it.
They never really explained it.
Yeah, you just have to assume. But
which I get. You don't want to be too overly like, these people are not related. Yeah. Let's make this crystal clear. I guess you just figure it out as you figure it out. But I agree. I agree it was a little confusing. The only dislike that I have for the movie is that it was kind of predictable. I think I knew what was going to go on by the 75% mark, when things were starting to kind of wrap up and become a complete story. I knew that she was going to die. I knew that she was going to die, and I knew that she was going to end up becoming part of the hand process.
But how did you know? Because she was...
I don't know. It was just the way that the arc was going, like the story. The story was setting itself up, and it had to end in a tragic way. Like, you just saw the main character fucking up all of her chances of getting out of this situation successfully. There was a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, she understands that this is completely fucked up and she's gonna do better. And then you see that she doesn't do that. And once she doesn't do that and she actually goes after the kid to kill the kid, I'm like, okay, she's going down this path. This is not gonna end well for her. She's gonna end up dying, or somebody's gonna end up dying, and they're gonna become part of the hand thing. I just felt like the formula was set up, and I knew it was going that way.
Oh.
If that
yeah,
makes
I
sense.
get you.
Did you kind of get the vibe of that?
I mean, I did, but I didn't think anybody was gonna get killed. I thought the kid was gonna get killed, but later on when they were like, the brother, I think it was the brother in the beginning, he said that after a while he'll get good, he'll get better.
Yeah.
But then she couldn't get herself better because she got stuck in it too, so she got fucked up.
Yeah.
So basically, they just had to like hold them down and tie them in jail or in their room until the demon gets out of them. Which
is another kind of...
That's why I thought they were gonna live, and it was gonna be a good, happy ending.
That makes sense. And the way that you worded that, it actually makes me think about the drug analogy, in that you needed to kind of purge out the drugs, right? Yeah. And they just didn't want to wait it out, and so it led to very bad things.
More shit happening.
Yeah, exactly. I love that analogy. That's such a good analogy for this movie.
They are going to make a part 2.
Oh, yeah, they are.
They said they're going to make a part 2 because the hand carries on to somebody else.
Oh, shoot. Do we know when that's coming out?
Nah, but do you think they should put the same characters?
I don't think they should put the same characters. I think there should be like a crossover moment where either one of the characters that are still alive provides some insight to the new set of people, or we get to see the main character from this first one on the opposite side, and she possesses someone.
Do you think they should keep it in Australia, or should it go to other...
I mean, I guess they kind of explain that it's worldwide, right? So I don't really care. Do you want it to be star-studded with an American cast?
No. I was just saying, like, if you keep it in Australia, wouldn't everybody find out?
Like, Australia is a whole ass continent. Is it not?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, right? Because on the opposite end, it can be from anywhere.
That's
right?
True. We'll see what happens. I just want to see what the new story is going to be.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Because then it looks like the same, you know what I mean? You don't want it to be the same thing where somebody gets possessed. Like, you want somebody to get possessed and they have to fight that possessed person.
Exactly. I get what you mean. I don't want it to be another reiteration of the same movie, because that's the main reason why I dislike remakes, right? Like, why are you doing it over if you know that the first one was superior anyway?
Sequels, remakes, yeah.
Sequels, remakes, all that jazz. Do we have a question for the audience? My question is, if you were put into the situation, say you walked in a party with all your friends and somebody pulled out a hand like this and, you know, did the whole spiel, would you take a chance and sit in the chair and hold the hand? Would you say, talk to me? We already discussed your decision, but 100% hell no for me. Same goes with the Ouija board. I ain't touching that shit.
I've done the Ouija board.
I'm not touching that shit, and you're wild for that. You set up our futures by doing that.
I've done that shit many times.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. I'm not touching that shit. It's so funny because I was having this conversation with other people as well, and a lot of people were like, hey, you know what? Well, I'll try it once. And I just keep thinking about the drugs. Like, wait, you'll try it once? What do you mean? What if that one time seals your fate, bro?
I know, yeah, it's kind of weird.
Nah.
But, I mean, if you see the movie and you know what's going to happen, would you really try it?
Nah. Hell no.
I guess we gotta wait and see.
If you say item plus possession, that's a hell fucking no for me. You don't even need to explain more.
Right, run out the door.
Anyway, thanks so much for listening. If you liked today's episode and you want to hear more from us, do us a favor and leave us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast platform. I want to say a big thank you for that 5-star rating on Spotify. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate you. Keep doing that. Let your friends know and let them do that as well. It really helps boost our podcast so other people can check it out. But tune in next Wednesday because we're going to be talking about a video game that Ian and I, well, mostly me, wanted, and Ian wanted nothing to do with. And then I had to convince him to get it, only for him to absolutely love it now.
Weeps.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game. But for now,
we'll see you in the kitchen with a knife.